Welcome to Who Knew with Bruce Lubin from quickanddirtytips.com. I'm Jennifer Boudneau, the editor of the Who Knew books. Today we're talking Christmas aftermath, as well as tips for New Year's, and as always, our life hack lightning round. But first, if you've ever felt like you had to choose between getting new blinds or holding on to your life savings, those fears end now, thanks to SelectBlinds.com. Select Blinds won't gouge you like those big greedy blind corporations. Just check out the over 170,000 five-star reviews on their site. Shop today at SelectBlinds.com. Mention you heard about them on a podcast at checkout and get sample swatches, absolutely free. That's SelectBlinds.com. Hi, Bruce.
Hello, Jen.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, too.
This podcast is coming out right before Christmas, so if you're looking for Christmas tips, go back and check out some of our other podcasts. The last one was about wrapping and making cookies, if that's what you have left on your to-do list. And then the one before that was on some tree tips and other stuff. This podcast is mostly about after Christmas.
Can I do one before Christmas since it's just about there?
Please.
Okay, so if you're if you're setting your fancy table for your fancy family for your fancy Christmas dinner, and the china has like those little micro cracks in it, which happens, you just want to put it in a container of milk and just heat it slightly. Oh. And the milk will actually cover up all those.
That sounds like science,
cracks.
Like the proteins in the milk or
exactly
something?
Exactly right. It's sort of like science. And if you've got stains on that china, use a little bit of nail polish remover and then a soft cloth. And then you have to wash it, of course, afterwards. But I just wanted to say that.
That's
because,
a good one. Or it could be an aftermath tip if this is how bad your china is looking afterwards.
See, that's the difference between you and me. I assume we put everything away dirty and trash, and now we're taking it out and saying, wow, we better clean this before we serve it. You, of course, are so much better than I am. So.
Very, very true. The other thing about now is, of course, the kids are going back to school. You have two college kids.
I'm so sorry. Yes.
So Lisa from thepennyhoarder.com has a tip for us that's great for the college kids.
Hi, I'm Lisa Rowan at The Penny Hoarder with today's money hack. Spring semester is only a few weeks away, if you can believe it, college students, and I have a few tips to help you not go broke this semester. Textbook prices are outrageous, so look to sources other than your campus bookstore for cheaper options that can help you save up to 50%. I recommend checking out bookscouter.com. It's a service that searches over 200 booksellers to find you the lowest price. And it'll also help you get the best price at the end of the semester when you sell back your textbooks. And while I'm at it, I should remind you to always ask for student discounts. Many restaurants and clothing stores offer them, so get over it if your student ID photo is horrible. Flash that little piece of plastic and get 10% off at Subway, Pizza Hut, Banana Republic, J.Crew, I could go on. And one last tip, don't get trapped by credit card offers. Although it is important to build your credit, only apply for a credit card if you can control your spending and pay off the balance in full each month. For more college money hacks, visit thepennyhoarder.com.
Oh, I love those. Make sure to pass them along to your kids. I'm sure they don't listen to our podcast.
Those are great tips.
They have other podcasts to be listening to. But before we go on, a bit more about our sponsor, SelectBlinds.com. You don't have to choose between saving money and updating your window treatments anymore. SelectBlinds.com has got you covered, and their loyal customers seem to agree. Just check out the more than 170,000 five-star reviews on their site. At SelectBlinds.com, you can choose from a selection of high-quality custom blinds, shades, and drapes. It's the simple and smart way to get blinds. Select Blinds makes it easy to do it yourself, without going it alone. Measure, choose, and install your own new window coverings with the support of their online specialists. If you can hang a picture, you can hang your own blinds. They've served over 1 million happy customers. Why not be one of them? Shop today at SelectBlinds.com. Mention you heard about them on a podcast at checkout and get sample swatches of the room-darkening blinds or shades of your choice. Absolutely free. That's SelectBlinds.com. So, Christmas aftermath. How messy is your house where you put everything away when it's messy rather than cleaning it first? How's it looking?
Yeah, it's always a bit of a mess.
So what tips do you have for people in terms of Christmas cleaning stuff?
So, seriously, if you put things away the right way, then when you take them out next year, everything's clean already, right?
Yes, so, this is Jeannie and Ma's motto.
Yes, exactly right. And I've learned to just sort of toe the line with you, too. So when you're storing silver, one of the worst jobs is when you take it out, you have to polish it all because it's been tarnished. But if you store it with a few pieces of chalk and wrap it in cheesecloth, the calcium carbonate, which is in the chalk, will absorb all the moisture from the air, and it will prevent tarnish.
Good to know.
And what you want to do is just sort of break the chalk up beforehand so it's kind of like a rough surface, and that'll keep all your silver tarnish free. So, Jen, I want you to do that and then get back to me in exactly 12 months or 11 and a half months when you take your silver out again. Let me know if it works.
Sounds good to me.
I've got another tip if you've been using your dishwasher a lot over the holidays.
Which I have.
I'm sure you have. So what you want to do, because it gets sort of funky after a while.
Yeah.
You want to use like a cup of vinegar and put it on the top shelf and like just a regular cup and do the pre-wash.
Uh-huh.
And just use it alone, just with the vinegar. And then when it's time to wash, just pour some baking soda along the bottom of the dishwasher and just wash, run the dishwasher empty.
Our old friends, vinegar and baking soda, to rescue again.
Our old friends, vinegar and baking soda. What would we do without them? And that'll leave your dishwasher really clean and fresh and shiny. And
it'll even get your dishes cleaner after
indeed,
you do
and no
that.
spots.
Yeah, when you clean your dishwasher.
No spots.
Baking soda is good for another cleaning thing, too, for if your cookie sheets are all covered with grease and disgusting. What you can do is layer baking soda, like wherever the stains are, then hydrogen peroxide, then baking soda again, and then just leave it on there.
Yep.
And after about 10-15 minutes, just use a sponge or an old toothbrush or something, and it just scrubs right off. It's great.
No, that's a great tip. Let me ask you a question, because I know you and I disagree, but on this, what's your favorite way to clean old cutting boards?
Oh, I'm a big fan of the salt and lemon method, where you just put salt on a lemon and then rub it on there. The lemon works as just a disinfectant, and the salt is a little bit of rubbing action. And I do it that way. I know that you guys are real big on like your plastic cutting boards and your wood cutting boards, and you don't use wood for meat because the meat can soak in. But I kind of use everything
It's
together.
One of our great divides, Jen.
I know. Well, it's America now. Is that we all just are on different sides of the
cutting board
of these important issues that face us, like how to clean a cutting board. That's what happens. So, what else do you have? Anything for?
Well, if it's time to take the tree down, which I always hate when it's time to take the tree down.
Yeah, you guys like to leave your tree up until St. Patrick's Day.
Something like that. Yeah. What you want to do with the lights is get a cardboard tube, like from a roll of paper towels, and just wrap the lights around the outside of the paper tube. And
that way they don't become all knotted up for
right.
next year.
And just use a little masking tape and secure it. And then when you're unwinding next year, you can just sort of wrap it right around the tree again.
Oh, lovely.
So there's never any, it's not like, your headphones in your gym bag that are all tangled up, right?
Yeah.
So it's really an easy way to sort of store your lights. If you're storing your old Christmas ornaments.
Yeah, what about ornaments?
Well, what I do is we put them in like old socks or nylons or something. And then you put them in like solo cups, disposable cups. If you have small ornaments, you can use old egg cartons, which are great.
And I always tell people to keep an eye out for those apples. Sometimes you find apples in plastic containers.
Yep.
I have one of those that I use for my bigger orbs. So if you happen to come along one of those plastic apple containers over the holidays, save it for your ornaments.
I don't know that I have those, but I certainly have wine boxes.
Oh, yes. Wine boxes are great for that.
They're great because they already have the little dividers in there.
Yeah.
And then you can just store your ornaments like that. So that's another great tip.
So very good. So we'll go home and we'll each put away our Christmas trees. And then next year we will open up the box and we'll see who did a better job.
That's right.
So New Year's is coming up.
Yep.
One of my more favorite holidays. I always like to reflect on the end of the year. This year has been a bit of a doozy for some of us. But I do like to celebrate New Year's. I have some good New Year's for tips for celebrating. Because I know how you celebrate New Year's, is that you open up a bottle of champagne and then ask Jeannie what she wants to do.
That's exactly right.
I have some good ideas. This one is actually a little bit more for kids. It's fun for adults too, but if you have kids and they're like, raring to do something for New Year's, this is a great one. you get balloons. And on each balloon, you put a time of night. So this is something you do for night. So you do 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m., or if you want more, you can even do the half hours and that kind of thing. So you write a little note and you stick that on the inside of the balloon and then blow it up. And the note can be, for adults, it's, I like to do stuff that's a little more reflective, like, what was the best party you went to this year, or what was the best time you spent with family, or what was the best meal you had, or that kind of stuff. Yep. For kids, you can do more activities, like dance party, or, sing along and have a sing along, maybe with some other stuff, for them to one that's fun is you do one that you throw out bubble wrap onto the floor and then let them jump on bubble wrap. So
I want to do that.
Yeah, you could do that one, an adult one too. But that's just sort of a fun activity to do. Another thing, of course, is making noisemakers. So if you have kids, you gotta have a noisemaker, and don't go buy them.
No
just
way.
Put them, do the same thing that the Lubins do to keep their dog well behaved, which is put beans in a toilet paper roll and then cover it up with tape on either side and then shake it. That both scares a dog out of misbehaving and also gives a kid something to do on New Year's. So.
That and a stun gun, and you have behaved dogs and children.
And you're good to go.
We're actually having a party this New Year's Eve. So if you're not doing anything, Jen, and you want to hang out with the old married folks,
always
I think you want to.
You and Jeannie know how to throw a party.
We do. So
what do you do? While Jeannie is getting ready for the party and you're drinking your champagne.
Well, that's exactly how it goes down. Couple of tips for champagne: if you have like sort of leftover champagne, which I know sounds like kind of an oxymoron, right? But if you have, if it's lost its fizz, you just want to throw a couple of raisins in a glass.
I have seen this in action. This tip actually works.
The bubbles.
Yeah.
Again, so it really sort of, it's
one of those tips. Why does it work?
I don't know. It's just a vast mystery, but it works. It works. Another great tip, and I do this for every party I have, is we get a Sharpie, and on wine glasses, we put everyone's name when they come in. And you'll be amazed at the end of a party how many half-empty wine glasses you find. But if everyone has their own glass where they put it down, they can always find it again.
Exactly. So and the Sharpie washes right off, right? I'm always afraid when you do that. I'm always like, you should be using dry erase. And then you said to me, no, it just washes right off.
So if it doesn't wash off all the way, a little bit of salt. Yes. And that takes off any sort of...
Also works on lipstick on a glass.
I was just going to say that. It works on lipstick on a glass, too. And because I'm having a big old party with lots of kids, what we do is Jeannie gets out the old muffin trays that we have. We put the drinks in that. That way you can hand out like 6 or 8 drinks at a time. And walk
and you put each drink in each little muffin tin
see how clever we are? Do you see how clever we are?
I know how clever you are. What about you already covered wine tags, because one thing that we had in your book Household Shortcuts that I thought was a really cute tip from a reader was their kid had all those silly bands that were really popular a while back and then got sick of the silly bands. So she used the silly bands on the stems of the champagne and wine glasses instead of those little rings that you can buy. So I thought that was really clever.
Who wants to buy those rings? Like, it's number one, it's something to store. Number two, why spend money on that when you can use those silly bands or you can use your Sharpie?
Yeah.
So I am not a fan of those wine rings.
So getting ready for a party, we already know how to clean everything in your house to get it ready. One thing that I always wonder is how much booze should I actually be buying for this party?
More is the answer. No, a good rule of thumb is this. It depends on how long the party's going to go, but you should plan on like 2 drinks per person for the first hour, and then 1 drink per hour after that.
They chug when they arrive.
Yeah, they do. So, that's sort of, if it's a long party, assume people are going to have about 5 drinks.
Yeah.
So just buy accordingly. And of course, the good news is, if you've got leftover alcohol, it's never really left over. It's just there for another day. So,
and of course, the old who knew tip about leftover alcohol is instead of getting one of those pumps that pumps all the air out of it, you just put it in a little mason jar or whatever to get the air out. Yeah, and then it keeps it fresher for longer.
Because what happens with wine is you just need... That's right, you have to get the air out. So if you just put it in something smaller like a mason jar, even an old water,
water bottle.
Water bottle. Yep, as long as there's no air, your wine is going to be good.
Good to know. Yeah, one of those tiny little water bottles.
Yep.
So I know Jeannie did a post recently, how to know how much ice you need and other ice tricks. So if people have questions about ice cubes, you guys figure about 10 to 15 cubes per person.
Isn't that crazy that we've done that? But yeah, that's about right. So then you just have to figure out, like how many cubes are in a regular bag, right? And then off you go.
And then tell everyone how to, your tip about the colander. I love this.
Oh, this is a great tip. So what happens with the ice bucket is, it melts and everything gets all watery. Yeah. If you put your ice bucket in a colander, put your ice in a colander and then put that in a bucket, all the water will drain out of the colander into the bucket. You'll have stills, just regular ice cubes.
I love that.
Solo ice cubes.
I do that. And I really want to try your tip about putting edible flowers or a little bit of mint in ice cubes, because I think that's super fancy, but that's sort of next level. So we'll see if I get there. But people should check out that how to know how much ice. Just Google how to know how much ice you need. Who knew tips, and you'll find that, and you have some good stuff on there. So that's pretty much all we have. The other thing you need to know about New Year's is drink a lot and be thankful and make a resolution. The end.
The end. Absolutely. Yeah, that's
so. It's time for our favorite part of the Who Knew podcast, the Life Hack Lightning Round, where Jeannie gives us a tip in an envelope, and we open the envelope and then name as many household hacks as we can involving that item. So, what do we have today?
Let's open it up. All right, so today we have to find as many uses for aluminum foil as we can think of.
And this is next level, so no, wrap your food in aluminum foil, the end. This is real...
This has to be real serious stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, who wants to go first? Can I go first?
Yes, you go first. Great. And I know the exact one you're going to say, because it's your favorite aluminum foil tip, and when you go on TV to present the Who Knew books, there's always a prop you have that is a giant piece of cardboard wrapped in aluminum foil. Is that the tip you were going to do?
First of all, do not put me in a box like that. But yes, you are right. So here's what you want to do, and this is great because it cuts your heating bill dramatically. If you've got radiators, you want to take a piece of cardboard, a big piece of cardboard, wrap it with aluminum foil, shiny side out, put it behind the radiator, and the heat that will radiate from the aluminum foil back into your room, and you will absolutely cut your heating bill, I promise you, Jen, dramatically, just from using aluminum foil and cardboard.
That is a great one.
How about that?
Here is a dog tip for you. You put aluminum foil if your dog is getting up on your couch or elsewhere in your house and you don't want him to get up. You put aluminum foil on it. Now, I won't lie. Some pets are a little more insistent than others. So I'm not going to promise you that this will work, but it has worked for a lot of our readers. If you put a sheet of aluminum foil down on your ottoman or your couch or whatever you're trying to keep your dog off of. And some people say it works for cats, too, but cats are usually a little more...
It totally works for dogs.
If cat wants to sit somewhere, he'll just sit somewhere. But yeah, they don't like the feeling under their feet, and so they don't want to sit on it.
It's like chewing aluminum foil. Who wants to lay on it? Who wants to... It's kind of tactile in a bad way, right?
Yeah.
I have a great tip for aluminum foil. I know you said we don't want to talk about wrapping things, but one thing I want to talk about wrapping, and that is celery. If you take celery out of plastic and wrap it in aluminum foil... It will last, I kid you not, months.
I would not be caught dead storing my celery in anything but aluminum foil.
Exactly right.
Because you get it in those bags and they're open-ended and then the celery gets limp within days. Maybe I just don't eat my celery fast enough, but if I don't wrap it in aluminum foil, then forget it.
No,
it's all over for me and my celery.
Then my work is done here. Now that you've said
Another wrapping tip, now that we said we weren't going to say them. You cannot use wrapping paper to wrap highly acidic things like tomatoes.
Right.
Because the
not
chemical
paper,
reaction.
Aluminum foil.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Christmas has gotten to me. Don't wrap tomatoes and other acidic items in aluminum foil because it'll actually have a chemical reaction and make it taste funny.
Right. Oh, look at you with your cautionary tip there. Excellent.
Exactly.
I have one about saving time, and that is if you're ironing and you want to sort of cut the time down, aluminum foil on the ironing board.
Oh,
shiny side up, and the heat will reflect. It's like my radiator tip. Like I'm obsessed with aluminum foil cutting.
It's good with that. You know what else it's good for?
What's
if
that?
you have plants that are dying, house plants in the summer, you can put, again, like with the cardboard or whatever, or just lay the aluminum foil out right underneath the plant, shiny side up, and then it reflects the sunlight and gives your plants like twice as much light.
Oh, you know what? You want to know who's terrified of aluminum foil?
Who?
Believe it or not, deers. Deer.
Real?
Deer.
Really?
Did I say deers? That was weird.
Is that a thing?
Deer. No.
It's just deer.
It's just deer.
Really?
The plural would be deer. So what you want to do is just take some strips of aluminum foil and hang it in your trees if you're plagued with deer in your yard, and they will run the other way.
Yeah, they don't like the reflection or something.
It's just too shiny. It's just too shiny.
I think that works for birds, too.
I think it does, but not as... I don't know as well. I certainly know the deer... It absolutely works.
And you know what else works for pests? If you have, like, rodents that are getting into your garden, sometimes you have squirrels or even rats, God forbid, or other little animals, chipmunks in your garden that are eating stuff. You can wrap them in foil because, again, like you said, no one wants to feel foil in their teeth. It's really awful. So that's a good pest tip.
Well... you and your rat tip, I'm going to declare you the winner, because where do I go from that?
What? Are you kidding? I had one more really good one.
Let's hear it.
If you don't have a dryer sheet, first of all, you should Google, what do I do if I don't have a dryer sheet? Who knew tips? And then we'll tell you everything you need to know about fabric softener, including how to do the liquid fabric softener, balls DIY. Anyway. Like I need to tell you. If you don't have a fabric softener sheet, you can just ball up a thing of aluminum foil, throw that in your dryer, and then that will take all of the static electricity off of everything.
And you can use it again and again and again and again.
Yeah, talk about a money saver.
That is a money saver.
I should just end on that.
I think you should.
That was a good last line. Talk about a money saver. That's what we're here for. Well, that was today's episode of Who Knew? Thank you, as always, to Quick and Dirty Tips for producing our podcast and making it all possible. I know I just sound like I don't mean that, but I really do. They're the best.
I mean it, too. I love when you say that.
I know. And you and Jeannie are also the best. You can find them, all of their posts, every day at quickanddirtytips.com/whoknew, where you can find all the tips from this podcast and many more. While you're online, please write us a review on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. And, of course, you can always find us by searching Who Knew Tips on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, or Google. Tune in next time and have a great holiday.
Thanks, everyone.